Hello and welcome to the Liquidity event. We are your host, Shane.
And I'm AJ.
And this is episode number 99. Ooh, one more, AJ, until we hit the big triple dig here.
Ooh, boy.
Recorded on June 21st, 2023, airing on June 23rd, also 2023. This week, we've got White House is in your face with some AI prompters. We have an IPO. We have an IPO, people. It's been 14 long, cold years of famine here.
Oh, that was the IPO market?
Yeah.
Thawing.
I thought you were doing the Benny Hill song there for a second. And then we've got, what else do we have here? We've got some fair pay, transparency, and crypto is coming to reality. AJ, how you been?
Oh, I've been great, man. How have you been?
Also good. I am currently in Mexico, but in a remote part of Mexico at surf camp. So,
remote parte de México?
No exactamente, pero cerca de la verdad. No, it's been good. I already surfed this morning. We're recording at 10 a.m. I've already been in El Mar por 2 horas. I caught some nice waves this morning. Yesterday was great too. This shit is hard on your body, man. I've taken a few dings to the head over the past few more dings to the head.
Shane is currently concussed, folks, so please forgive his opiniones in este episodio.
Oh, man.
No, I'm so psyched for you. You're like living the life, right? This is like the remote dream, right? Work East Coast hours, do some surfing in the morning, hop on for 7 or 8 hours, do some podcast recording with your business partner. We have some strategy meetings later, maybe, that I might not go to because I want to leave early because I'm on a totally different time zone in London. But I feel like we're making it work. This is the founder 5 years in. This is the life. Congrats to us.
And we've got we got people all over the world. The sun never sets on the Brooklyn FI Empire. Keep calm and zoom on.
We are literally 8 hours apart, which makes scheduling a meeting with the two of us literally impossible.
Ay, caramba. I'll be in Europe this summer though. We're gonna be there, I think, at the same time.
For like a hot sec.
I have no idea. Who cares? Actually, I care. We need to do a Parisian podcast.
A Parisian podcast?
What are we doing for our 100th episode? Should we give the listeners a preview?
We haven't discussed it yet, so
you should give me a preview. Or I should give you a preview.
Ideas have been batted around, but no plans have been made.
No commitments.
So, listener, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have plenty of time to prepare. So don't miss number 100. It'll be special, as you know. We will not fail you, listener.
It's going to be fire. What are you doing in London? You're with your husband.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out, honestly. My husband comes here 4 times a year for work because he works for a British company, and I love London so much, so I tag along. I've got great Wi-Fi and a great desk and comfy office chair with a high back. So
what
that's
is
really
that?
all. It's just like a...
Dear listener, you can't see this, but it looks like a Washington monument. A gray version of the very phallic chair back there. Yeah,
it's like an obelisk-shaped modernist desk chair, but it's actually quite comfortable. So usually in previous work from hotel stays, I've caused a pinched nerve in my back, but not here. This is super comfy. I'm living the life here.
That is London in a nutshell for me. Expensive, modern, and uncomfortable.
Dude, you hate London. London is one of the greatest cities in the world. So you've done London incorrectly, is my hypothesis.
The only time I've done London, I was poor. So yeah, on tour with my buddy's band. Yeah,
right.
I need to go back. Maybe I should go back as an adult.
Money will make you like the city a little bit more. I do have a complaint about London. Well, more in the UK in general.
Here we go.
Cookies. Too many cookies. When you go on any damn website here, it's like, do you want some cookies? Accept, reject. Like, cannot get past that. I've signed into everything. I'm still bombarded with yes. I don't care. Yes, track me on the internet. I don't care. Where is the universal? I accept all of your cookies. I will eat them. I'm frustrated. I'm not using the internet any more than I have to here because of that. Rant over.
Well, that's GDPR, right? Like they have to ask you for permission to track you. So that's the quintessential America versus Europe. Like in America, the default is we own you, and and it's super convenient. We get all of your data.
Yeah, please. So great.
Whereas in Europe, you get to say no, but you have to say no over like the consent issue in Europe. Jesus Christ.
I'm like, I'm trying to find out if this restaurant serves wine or not. Yes, no, yes.
When do you need to consent to disclosure of your social security number if you want to know if this
Yes, take
wine...
my social security number. I want to know about your wine list. That's going to have a bigger impact on my life right now than you having my social security number, honestly.
I would love that if that was actually... That's the exchange in 2025 when we've just totally sold our souls.
It's just like whatever.
We're like, fuck it, whatever.
Fuck it, whatever. It's only... It's only what 11% of our income in retirement. So
yeah. What else do you need? You need 10% of my 401k in perpetuity. Just let me know if the restaurant is open at 11.
Yeah, really. That's all.
Kitchen's closing soon. You can have 5% of Brooklyn FI. I'm so hungry.
But I really that burger on your website looks so good. Quick text to me with the burger. I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
You got it. You been reading anything?
Have I been reading anything? I was flirting with this new Salman Rushdie novel, which I can't think of the title. The problem with the Kindle is that I never remember the titles of the books I'm reading because you just see it flashed on that page and then I only see the text. The new Salman Rushdie novel, pretty good. A little not that great because I've been reading it for a month. So no. What about you?
Well, this is actually a good reminder. I forgot. R.I.P. I've been meaning to read the new Cormac McCarthy books for a while, and he recently passed away. We lost one of the big boys in terms of American literature. Yeah, for sure. So R.I.P. to the goat, one of the goats for sure. But in that same vein of like Western and Southern Gothic, I've finished that book, Killers of the Flower Moon, that is coming out as a movie pretty soon. I finished book 5 of Harry Potter, so pat me on the back here. And then I also finished this book called The Wager.
What's that?
Anyway, the
What's
only reason
that
I bring it up is because Killers of the Flower Moon, dear listener, is personal finance related. Now, remember this when you're watching this movie. It's a Scorsese flick. It's Leo, De Niro, Sturgill Simpson is in it. It's going to be a banger, absolutely. About 3 hours long. But it is an estate planning book. It's all about estate planning. So just keep that in mind while you watch Killers of the Flower Moon.
Do you have a little tidbit for us? Or is this too many spoilers?
It's about inheritance.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. Do you know what the books? Do you know the premise of the book?
I don't.
It's actually, I'll do it in 2 seconds. So we moved all of these Native Americans to a reservation.
It's been 2 seconds. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. In Oklahoma. And we put them on these ragged rocks of land in like northern Oklahoma, and it ended up being like one of the richest oil fields ever.
Oh, yes.
So the Osage Indians in the hills of Oklahoma became the richest Americans per capita for like 50, 60 years. And then they just start getting murked. They just start disappearing, like 30 of them. And the FBI is essentially created to figure out what the hell is going on. And it's like the FBI's first big case. J. Edgar Hoover's involved. It's pretty dope.
Very cool story. Yeah, very interesting part of American history.
Indeed. Yeah, the last
that we did not learn. I did not learn about that.
Oh, they didn't teach you that.
Yeah, so
American
weird.
history
so
skipped
weird.
over the assassin.
Yeah, so weird. Didn't. Yeah, all we learned about the Native Americans was that they used sycamore leaves as toilet paper. Sycamore tree, very beautiful tree, very soft leaf. So they were very resourceful.
That'll come in handy one.
Yeah, super handy. Didn't learn about the abuses of the.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if you can spot a sycamore. Well, I went to high school in Mississippi, so you can imagine what my U.S. history courses were like. Okay. Definitely not
Christ.
the Howard Zinn version of the southern United States. All right.
I came over in a boat, and here we are, folks.
We're just going to skip over the years 1860 and 1865. Great stuff happened those years.
And then we were all heroes in Iwo Jima. Next chapter, anyway.
Moving right along.
Speaking of moving right along, let's get into some news for the week. Where should we begin?
Well, we have, I don't have a great segue here, but apparently, despite the IPOs that we've been seeing, or the lack of IPOs and the general recession in the tech space, Facebook has been down had a drawdown that was over 75% during 2022, 2023. There has been a drying up
Shane, I got to stop you for a second. Something really crazy is happening. I'll be right back.
So we're just gonna keep. All right, and we're back. Okay, all right, dear listener. We just had a little bit of a incident there. My dear business partner just said, "Hold on a second. I think I'm having a heart attack," and just went off camera.
I came back and said I was fine.
What the fuck, dog? You can't do that to me. You can't.
No, I'm sorry.
If you're gonna have a heart attack, do it on camera, so that I can
spiraled
call
a little
somebody.
bit. Make sure you're hydrating, folks. Hydrating, eating, taking all your pills, and then you'll be good to go. And don't have iced coffee.
Right. I can't tell if she actually had a heart attack or she just had an iced coffee. For those of you who don't know, when AJ has a cold brew, if she becomes like supersonic, Super Saiyan, like can read the Matrix, but also like is on the verge of her heart exploding. Oh my God.
It's
Anyway,
all good.
Speaking
Take
of collapsing off camera, Wall Street Journal has this fantastic article about how startups are throwing in the towel, unable to raise money for their ideas. Yeah, I mean, no surprise. Anyone that listens to the Liquidity event has known that tech itself has been in a spiral for the past 3 years in terms of valuations after their pandemic highs, post-pandemic. Venture capital has been experiencing a dearth of funding from a height of $95 billion in Q4 of 2021 to a low of $37 billion of funding in Q1 of 2023. We've seen about a 70% dip in terms of funding for startups. And when you can't get any money to continue the runway to keep you extend your runway, I mean, your company either needs to sell or go out of business. AJ, what's your take?
Few takes here. So one, all right, ready for this? So startups, when they get going, not in like the first 6 months, but like once they have a few employees, need to have a starvation mode plan, and that needs to go in the deck to investors. So let's take the concept
I like that
of
take. Okay.
Let's take the concept of like, you and I read all this stuff about like living forever. What's that book? We're on like longevity. And there's this concept of like autophagy, which is when your cells go into starvation mode and start eating the bad cells and regenerate. So I think startups should have in their business as a like, hey, before we even get going, yes, we're going to take your $50 million, but we just want you to know that we could survive. This is what starvation mode looks like for us, and we're always going to have this much cash in the bank to get us through this dip. Because a lot of these startups that are running out of money right now, like if they had this plan in place, they just need to batten down the hatches and get through this until the next cycle comes around, right? They're just not going to make it through the cycle, so they're closing shop, they're getting chopped up and sold for parts. I mean, the upside here is the parts that are getting sold. Let's say they took that 50 million, built tech, their competitors are going to be able to come in and buy that tech, maybe bring on that talent and be able to catapult just because they had enough cash at the right time to get through this downturn. So that's my take. Let's apply autophagy, starvation mode to startups. Let's put it in the business plan. Let's have VCs coach startups how to survive on less, because we're spending too much money at the end of the day.
Man, we didn't get to talk about this I love that take. We didn't get to talk about this last week, or maybe we did, but the guys at Mistral AI that raised $115 million as a seed round, I mean, we should talk about it for a second, but this French startup in the AI space, and everyone loves AI now. And I think most VCs are not really making any bets until they get there's a trend in that space. VCs are making bets, but they can't figure out which AI startups to make bets on. And if you do not have AI in your deck anywhere, if you're not utilizing AI here, it's very hard to raise any money. But yeah, we did see an AI startup in France raise $115 million. The oldest founder, there's 3 founders, all French guys. They all worked at former Facebook and Google deep learning teams. They're like in their late 20s. Best case scenario, they have like 7 years of experience. So as somebody that has gone through an autophagy phase at a company, you and I have shrunk our workforce by about 15%. I just ran the numbers on that. We're down about 15% from our pandemic peak of late 2021. You hire for the expected capacity that you're going to need to support into the future. And then when it doesn't show up, you have to make some tough calls. Luckily, we are a profitable company. So we just, if we're not making profits, we lay people off. And that's our autophagy phase until growth starts to come back again. Anyway, I just worry about
I feel like you made that sound like a lot easier than it is. But yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's what we do.
Right.
That sounded really harsh.
Yeah, well, it's the case. Yeah. Just bear with me 1 second.
So Shane, how many episodes have we recorded of this
99
podcast? 99. And how many times have we done it in one take all the way through?
Ooh.
97? 96?
Yeah, that's true.
And,
yeah.
and how many times have we been interrupted in this eapisode here today?
This is
3?
My third. By the way, it took an hour and a half of trying to get the Wi-Fi to work, and now I'm outside. Dear listener, I was just in a classroom, and like, somebody broke in to teach a Spanish lesson. And they're like, "Hello, get out of my room now, please." And now your boy is outside cooking.
We started this podcast bragging about like how easy like remote work is, and it's all great, and all of a sudden we're unable to do our 1.5 hour of work today. But anyways,
no, anytime I travel and people are like, "What do you do for a living?" and I explain I own a company, we're got employees all over the world, we're totally remote, and like I get to work, and people are like, "Oh my god, that sounds like the most amazing life." I'm like, "Oh yeah, you ever lived out of a backpack for 3 months and then your Wi-Fi is a constant source of stress?" Like, it's got its ups and downs, folks. Speaking of ups and downs, the founders of a collapsed job training startup have misled VCs, apparently, according to this investor. We got a great article from The Information that AJ is going to walk us through.
Yeah, so surprisingly, this company is called Bitwise. What do you think Bitwise does, just based on the name alone?
Machine learning, crypto, AI.
It's a job training startup.
Oh,
they have... So first of all, big misnomer in the name there. So my hypothesis about this company is that, like you were just saying, how if you put AI in your deck, you'll get funding in 2023. If you put bit or crypto in your deck in 2020 or 2021, you got funding. So it's a job training company. They build, or actually they're kind of like boots on the ground. They go and train workers to do higher paying knowledge-based work. They had a big office in Fresno, California, so not Silicon Valley, kind of like outside. They were looking to bring lower paid workers up the income chain. Now investors are saying that they were misled by the two co-founders and the financials were made up a little bit shoddy. And now 900 of Bitwise's employees are back on the job market. This company is dead.
Oh, Jesus.
DOA.
900?
900. Yep. It was, it's kind of like a too good to be true business model. I was like looking into this company a little bit. Their revenue came from actually building software, so actually hiring these people to build software after they train them, selling their online training platforms, and then weirdly real estate. So it just sounds like bad business proposal. Didn't have an emergency fund, didn't have an emergency plan, ran out of money. Probably going to be some fraud here, it looks like. Some pretty big investors here. But yeah, my heart goes out to the 900 folks who are looking for jobs now.
Jesus.
So bye-bye Bitwise.
That is terrible management. First of all, fraudulently faking it till you make it is, I think, a bad idea 9 times out of 10. Here's the thing. You don't hear about the companies that did fade it, that ones that made it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Happens all the time. It's like the opposite of survivorship bias.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to hear from like very successful company founders about what they fudged in their initial pitches to investors. Like, what were the things that snuck under the radar? And I don't know if we would get honesty. We probably wouldn't, but I bet there was a few white lies told or some actual lies told in some of the billion-dollar companies that we see today and their initial promises to investors. My hypothesis.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when it comes to like monthly active users, like there's a lot of subjective things. Like not everything that is being reported is purely GAAP-basis financials, right? That have like a standardized way of being reported. You could lie about monthly active users. You could like lie about the growth of traffic, all types of stuff, and or manufacture those things. What was the girl that lied to JP Morgan about the number of customers that they had? Charlie Jam.
Yeah, she just bought a marketing list and said they were her clients.
Oof.
Yeah.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. Speaking
900
of hating
employees,
to
though. God
yeah,
damn.
it's not good. Speaking of you hate to see it, returning to the office enters the desperation phase. We are in the phase of return to office where companies are saying, get your ass in the chair. If you, in the case of Salesforce, they're saying, if you come to work, we will donate $10 to your favorite charity just for you showing up. So it's, I don't know if that's bribery because you're not getting the money, but what do you call that? What do you call like charitable giving guilt tripping? I guess that's what you call it.
Just that. I mean, just that. I mean, fuck that. I hate it. I mean, I don't hate it. Like, it's better than no money going to charity. And I guess I think this is getting a lot of press because of how small it is, or like how desperate it is, obviously. But like, I'm sorry, if $10 going to charity is not going to move the needle for me if I've got 3 kids, a dog, and I live 90 minutes away from the downtown office. And like now I have to pay tolls, I have to pay to park, I have to, or take the goddamn subway or whatever it is. Like commuting is a nightmare. And
and I designed my life.
Yeah.
I designed my life around you letting me work from home. Has my job performance suffered? No. It's going to cost me $100,000 to hire the childcare I need to be able to continue to deliver this performance if you want me to come to the office. So no, thank you. I'll go elsewhere.
I don't know how to feel about, we can't really interrupt each other on this podcast because we're on Zooms, right? and like as an example, but on the CEO of one of the companies that's pushing for in-office work says that I need you guys in the office so that you can interrupt each other.
Honestly, that's the only compelling reason I've ever heard for returning to the office.
just to shut someone up. Like, I'm going to cut you off there, you fucking psycho.
No, I mean, he's right. It's like, it's like, wait, I need to interrupt you. And it's like, everyone has to stop talking. Whereas in an office, it's a lot more like, it's not as rude to be like, oh, just question or like raise your hand. Like, excuse me, actually, I get that. I was not being sarcastic when I said that's the only compelling reason. I
got you. And like you've got 10 people on a Zoom call, only one person can talk at a time. If you've got 10 people in a conference room, you can break away and have 4 different side conversations, and everyone, it's like ostensibly 4 times as productive. One other thing that I think about is when we were working in the office, we designed all of these services at Rook on a Fi that we still, like, they have a really strong foundation, and it's provided a lot of our growth, the process that we've built and the products that we have. But some of the newer products that we try to develop are a little bit harder to do so remotely, I think. Like, it's just harder to get buy-in from people, harder to get people to understand what it is you're trying to accomplish. You can't look over someone's shoulder and say, no, this, not that, and like interrupt people. And like, if they're not an owner, like if someone doesn't own the company, I think it's kind of hard for them to think like an owner. It's obviously like, and act like an owner, because like investing in a new service line doesn't really impact them intrinsically. Like unless they're just like super curious or super hungry to learn a new thing, it's difficult to motivate someone to just explore it on their own, to get them to explore it on their own. Like watch these, I don't know. This is just something that I'm feeling is difficult to get done outside of when working remotely.
Yeah, I think there is something to be said for that in office, like je ne sais quoi. Like, I don't think it's water cooler conversations. I think it's honestly trying to impress your colleagues, right? Like there's accountability in being like, oh, I'm busy right now and I'm working. And it's not just to like show your boss. It's just like, it's like wrapped up in your self-worth, And I think there are some people who have not thrived working from home, being off camera, sitting through boring meetings. Like, that's not productive at all. Those people probably would be more productive in the office.
Speaking of...
Just so you know, listener, we can't really hear each other, so hopefully we're talking about the same thing. You were talking about Chipotle, right? Okay, cool. Anyway.
Speaking of... fuck, I had a great segue, and it froze for just 2 seconds, and I lost it. Anyway, women don't get paid as much as men. And New York City and certain jurisdictions have implemented an attempt at fixing that via pay transparency laws that require all jobs within certain jurisdictions to post a pay range. Apparently, according to the New York Times, we have it's effective when the pay ranges or the bands are tight enough for them to be to give you insight into how much people are getting paid. So this is an article. Honestly, this article it's called "A Job with a Fair Salary: What Pay Transparency Laws Are Revealing." And there's some stories in here, a little bit of anecdotal stuff, but essentially, if the pay bands are tight enough, like a pay band could be super wide. We'll pay you between 100 and 200,000. Like that doesn't really help you too much when you're looking for a job. It gives you a minimum, I guess. But if it tells you, hey, we're going to pay you between 60 and 75, depending on experience, it is helping younger workers and women and minorities to find jobs at certain pay ranges and helping to even the odds. AJ, what's your take?
Yeah, I mean, this is a complicated issue. I found it interesting that more than about 1/4 of the whole U.S. labor force is now covered by these salary transparency laws. So this is like significant. It's not just like, oh, New York City and Portland, Oregon have this. It's a quarter of the whole labor market. So that's cool.
Is it all of California?
It's all of California. It's all of New York, and I forget the other states. Yeah, I mean, I think there's an interesting point here. It's like, is it the companies saying, here's like, are these salary bands actually helping people? Like the higher paid, bigger discrepancy jobs where we're going to have the man making, a dollar, the white woman making, 84 cents, and the woman of color making 77 cents, right? That's typically what we see across the board. Like, how did we get there? Like, was it the job offer? Was it the actual years of experience because she had to take 5 years off to raise the kid? Was it that he negotiated? Did the white man negotiate and was granted that? She didn't know how much to ask for. We don't know. There's so much complexity that goes into these conversations. I am pro salary transparency. I think we're in the very early days of getting it right. So yeah, companies are throwing up like, yeah, this senior director job pays between $70,000 and $450,000. Like, cool. Thanks. Super helpful.
It pays between $1 and $500,000 per year.
Yeah. Depending on experience, of course.
Right.
So I think this is good. I think this is so. Look, it's like every industry is going to be like, we're different. Every company is going to have different ways they pay people. Like, so maybe it's going to be all base. Maybe there's, a commission for certain roles that aren't reflected in these jobs. So let's keep talking about it. Is my take here. Let's keep coming back to this. Let's check in on how everyone's feeling about their pay, and let's get that 84% up, or sorry, 84 cents up.
I'm down. You want to talk about crypto, or you want to jump to Cava?
Let's jump to Cava. Yeah,
let's do IPOs.
Crypto, SEC. Yeah, a lot of news. Yeah, let's do IPOs. Hummus saved the IPO market. No?
I'm down.
So you've never been to a Cava. You've never been to a Cava. You've never seen a Cava?
My take is that the simulation put Cava in recently, and I have not seen it yet. Cava is not a real thing. The simulation inserted it for this IPO. I'm fine with it. I mean, I get an IPO. I'll take whatever the simulation gives me.
Cava, I've probably had Cava 15 times. It's like the Chipotle of Mediterranean food, right? You get your bowl, you walk in the line, you add this, you add that, you add some tahini, little falafels, little hummus, little harissa. It's delicious.
Yeah, I get it. Still think.
So why are we talking?
Didn't exist 6 months ago. I know this is a Bernstein Bears situation. It's not a real company.
Okay. Anyway. All right. Shane does not believe in this IPO.
I want to believe.
But Shane did not, but every single other investor apparently did, because for the first time in almost a year and a half, we have had a successful IPO. Cava's IPO price was $22, and on its debut, we saw the shares open at $42, so almost double. Does that mean the investment bankers priced it too low? Probably. They probably wanted to be cautious. But yeah, this happened. Everyone was like, what the hell is going on? Are we back? Or was this just a fluke with an exciting restaurant chain backed by VCs with a really nice PR story to tell? I don't really know. I feel like it was a nice little ripple in the water. Like, okay, maybe leaders of companies now can say, okay, we've had one successful IPO. Who's to say, they were the first, we don't have to be the first. So I think there's something in the popping of the cherry of the IPO market returning.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Fuck. All right. I didn't say that for the record. The transcript, I need the transcript to reflect that phrase came from AJ's mouth. God damn.
We haven't seen anything.
No,
someone had to do it.
I agree with you. Definitely. I think some CEOs are definitely talking to some bankers now about filing S1s now that Cava had a successful IPO, at least so far. The IPO index is performing a lot better than it did over 2022 and 2023. Those prices are definitely rebounding. We're trending back up from disastrous drawdowns that we saw throughout 2022. So the boat is righting itself. I think we're going to see more people put buy signals on tech companies, and I think the liquidity is going to flow. I think the second half of 2023 is going to see a Reddit IPO. The Reddit drama is still going on. Speaking of Reddit and IPOs and drama, are you following this UFO situation that we're experiencing? Let me take a left turn here real quick.
Oh, wait, but I have more things to say about Cava.
No, I'm taking this off the rails here.
Okay.
No. All right, you do your Cava thing, and then we'll close down
Just
with
quickly,
UFOs.
just to like kind of talk about this IPO. Okay, so this was not a tech IPO, right? This is a restaurant fast casual IPO, of which we've seen a few successful ones in the past.
I'm sure
right?
they use AI though.
Definitely, AI was definitely mentioned in the S1.
Let's check the S1. Yeah,
I looked. Digital ordering. So how do we determine if this is a successful IPO, right? Chipotle is one of our fast casual, super successful IPOs. Sweetgreen, a super unsuccessful IPO. They're down significantly. So I was looking at where Sweetgreen was at when they went public versus Cava. So when Sweetgreen went public in 2021, their revenue was $243 million, and Cava's already almost double that. And by the end of the year, they're going to have 320 stores, whereas Sweetgreen had, I think it was like 150 stores. So Cava's almost double the size of Sweetgreen. They raised a shit ton of money in this IPO. There's like 318 million just in that initial public offering. I don't know. I feel like this could actually be something. I feel like this is not a Sweetgreen. I feel like this is more of a Chipotle situation. That's my take.
Well, here's my take. There's only half as many Sweetgreens as there are Cavas. I've been to Sweetgreen 100 times. I've been to Chipotle 500 times, and you're trying to tell me Cava has twice as many stores and was not inserted by the simulation just moments ago to make sure that we have an IPO. This Truman Show situation about Shane's life needed an IPO so that we're back up on top in the second half of 2023.
Tell me more about those IPOs. Tell me more about those IPOs. I mean, wait, did I just say I meant UFOs? UFOs, IPOs, who knows?
Who gives a shit? Gold jacket, green jacket.
For the record, we are not drunk, by the way.
It's 10 a.m. here. I miss the old Liquidity event days when we would be drunk on set.
Wait, speaking of drinking, I have a little Charmander sparkly soda that I found at the store. Anyway, close us out with UFOs.
Okay. Are you sure you want? I don't know if listeners are ready for this.
We're not going to hear about the IPOs. Thanks for being a wonderful audience, folks. We will see you next week. We have an IPO. We should have one more next week too. You've been great. See you later.
Bye.